Welcome back to the Chappers. Today, we're going to give you your must-watch Thanksgiving playlist. Watchlist? Watchlist. Let's do it. Welcome back. And like we said, we're going to give you a Thanksgiving watch list of specials from different TV shows, what have you, that you should watch prior to Thanksgiving. Get you in the mood. All right. We're going to start off with a show that everybody should know, Friends. So this episode was the one with football. Ross and Monica's sibling rivalry comes out in full force when the Gellers go head-to-head in a touch football game that quickly gets heated. Okay, so that's the first thing on the list that you should watch.
The next episodes of Friends that is going to be on your watch list for Thanksgiving is the one with all of the Thanksgiving flashbacks. So this one, Thanksgiving episode, is the friends gather in Monica's apartment to reminisce about the worst Thanksgiving memories that they had, including Monica accidentally cutting off Chandler's toe. That's a flashback when Monica's in the fat suit. We've got wigs going on with Ross. We've got a mustache on. We have Rachel wearing the fake nose. All that stuff's going on.
Oh my God, I forgot about her nose.
Yeah, and so we have that flashback going on. And then we also have Joey getting his head stuck in a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Monica then redoes it, and she's wearing a turkey to help Chandler feel better because he always is depressed on Thanksgiving because of his family drama.
Yeah, his parents announced that they were getting divorced in his flashback, so that's why he always hates Thanksgiving.
So that's where the famous turkey scene where Monica's head is in a turkey goes on.
Yes, with those yellow sunglasses.
Yes. So that was the second thing on our watch list for Thanksgiving. So what is the third one going to be?
The third one. So we are going to get into the ever-loving Gilmore Girls. This one is called A Deep Fried Korean Thanksgiving, and it's when Lorelai and Rory's boundless appetite is boundless appetite is put to test when they find themselves quadruple booked for Thanksgiving dinner. Their strategy to skip roles. So they had 4 Thanksgivings, and it was one was at Luke's Diner.
Mm-hmm.
One was at the Gilmores, her parents, of course, and then it was Suki, and then the Kims. So that's why it is called a deep fried Korean Thanksgiving, because of course at the Kims it was Korean style.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And was it the deep fried turkey at Suki's?
Yes, Jackson was deep frying it.
Yeah.
And I want to say like Rory tapped out at that point or something. Like something was going on.
There was, or I don't know if something
Suki
caught on
was
fire.
drunk. Suki was
yeah,
drunk. She was like, to be able to tolerate Jackson and his family deep frying this out on their lawn, she was plastered, and
she wanted to have her like perfect delicacy that she puts together.
Yeah, she wanted her since she's a cook. So
then of course, then at the Kims they're gonna have all of their other different types of stuff there.
The Gilmores, Emily and Richard, it's always like a fancy thing. So they had that. Now, on to the next stuff to be on your watch list is, of course, Gossip Girl. Now, there's multiple Gossip Girl episodes because there was 6 seasons. So, we all know that it can never be a normal Thanksgiving in the Upper East Side.
Mm-hmm.
There's always some kind of chaos. So, I'm just going to go over the season and the title so that you can watch all of those. So season 1, episode 9, it was titled Blair Waldorf Must Pie. So that was a whole thing where her dad always made pumpkin pie. The next one was season 3, episode 11, The Treasure of Serena Marade. I don't know how to say that. It was basically dealing with Blair's mom gets like remarried and stuff, and it dealt with mothers and daughters and all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes Serena would outshine Blair and everything. Then it was, this one's season 2, episode 11, The Magnificent Archibalds. So that deals with the Archibalds and their family drama. Want to say that's when Nate's dad gets arrested and everything.
Something's telling me that's what it is too.
Yeah, his dad gets arrested during like Thanksgiving dinner, and it just all gets a mess because his dad was doing like financial fraud stuff. Season 4, episode 10, Gaslit. So that one's when like a ton of secrets come out, and it's deals with Serena gets set up and she gets drugged and she ends up at the Ostroff Center. And season 6, episode 8. It's really complicated. Yeah, I don't feel like going into a lot of that. Again, more drama, affairs, all kind of stuff going on in that episode. That's the one where they look back, they're older.
Okay.
So that kind of, Dan talks about, he narrates like what they went through. Serena was being optimistic and was like, yeah, but that was our parents, not us. So that's that kind of thing. All right, so that's it for Gossip Girl. So there's a lot of episodes on there that you can watch. I always like watching Gossip Girl in the fall because, I don't know, there's something about the scenes of like, oh my God.
New York.
Yes, New York, but I forgot like the park. Central Park. There's just something about Central Park, like when it's all changed and everything when they film there.
I think the one from the first season is the one I've seen the most with the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, that's when Dan has the flashback of when he saved Serena when she was like drunk and the pie gets ran over by a taxi or whatever. Because Serena's like out in the middle of the freaking road. That was the first time that... That's the first time he like met her or whatever, and she didn't remember who he was. And she
yeah,
was
but
like,
I do remember that there is the whole thing with Blair and this pie, and I feel like no one understands why she's upset.
Yeah, it was when her parents like first, like were getting divorced or something, like, and her dad always made this.
And that's what she wanted to hold on to, and it was like forgotten about. Yeah,
because he couldn't come in for Thanksgiving or whatever, and her mom like made a different one, and she was like, no, this isn't, Dad and I always made it together, and then had to deal with her eating disorder, like came back, dealing with that kind of stuff, because then she like gorged herself on desserts, and then she was either bulimic or something, because she would make herself throw up. I don't remember which one that is.
So next we're going to move on to some sitcoms. We're going to talk about Home Improvement. Home Improvement was, of course, one of those shows that everyone talks about and remembers all of the holiday episodes that they have done. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So, of course, since we're talking about Thanksgiving, we need to talk about the 2 Thanksgiving episodes. And that was towards the end of Home Improvement's run. The very first Thanksgiving episode they did was The Wood, the Bad, and the Hungry. And this was in 1996. So for this one, it's going to be on Thanksgiving. Randy is volunteering at a soup kitchen, and Tim does not want to invite Benny to come over at all to their house for Thanksgiving. But when he goes to pick Randy up from volunteering at the soup kitchen, they actually see Benny there. Benny, the funny thing about Benny is that he's one of their friends that always is like causing a bunch of chaos and stuff. He is actually in the Santa Claus. He's the truck driver at the beginning, and he kind of shakes his head when Tim goes by when he's the Santa Claus with Charlie. And so what goes on is during this is the episode where Tim feels so bad he falls asleep, and they have all of the characters come to life in his dream, like looking like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer people. So they're all that type of animation. So Wilson next door is the snowman from Rudolph, and they are all these wooden people, and it plays out this whole thing about how you need to be nice to each other and that type of stuff. What happens is that Tim invites him over to his house because he feels bad, and then he finds out, well, the only reason why Benny goes there is because he thinks the soup is good. After all of that, him feeling bad and going through the dream with the Rudolph, wooden type of characters and animation.
He wasn't actually homeless.
No. So then the other one is called Thanksgiving, and that was the year after that in 1997. And Tim and his family are invited to the Detroit Lions game. And so he gets to be in this fancy box seats, everything, where they get food. But what goes on is when Tim gets a tour of the Detroit Lions Stadium, he starts pressing buttons or leaning on them, and he actually shuts off all of the lights in the stadium. And so it's all this because Two of the Tin Man Taylor, of course, had to touch things and do things and mess things up for the Thanksgiving football game. So that's the basis that is around of them at the stadium.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next one on your watch list should be Boy Meets World Turkey Day. And it's when, after Corey and Sean win a Thanksgiving dinner in their school's food drive, their families decide to spend the holiday together at Sean's family trailer park. So, Sean was, his family, obviously they live in a trailer park. He wasn't as well off as, like, the Matthews. The Matthews are, like, middle class. They live in a neighborhood and everything. So, like, their school had a Thanksgiving dinner, like a food drive, and the prize was a Thanksgiving dinner. So I can't remember if Sean and Corey worked together or if there was like a competition and there was like an argument that was between them, and then but at the end they came together and they had their Thanksgiving dinner. I remember Corey like bringing stuff over to them. So yeah, so they enjoyed the time together.
So next we're going to talk about Full House. So in the first season of Full House, there was an episode called The Miracle of Thanksgiving, and this was going to be the first time that the family was dealing with Thanksgiving without their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guys wanted to make a restaurant reservation, but DJ and Stephanie really wanted them to be making stuff from home. Mm-hmm. And I know DJ gets especially upset with this because she would help her mom cook.
Right, she's the oldest, so she remembers her mom the most.
Mm-hmm. And so there was, of course, some disaster going on them trying to figure this out, because, of course, then probably all the guys have never cooked a Thanksgiving meal before.
Right.
So you got all that chaos going on in there. I don't know if there was something dealing with Michelle, with the baby, like there's probably something with that going on. I believe what happened was, in the end, they said all that really matters is that you're here with family and that everyone's healthy, and they pulled their act together somehow.
Yeah.
In the end of the episode, and ended all happy, of course, what
kind of,
the episodes always do.
Some sentiment. Because there's always those, like, moments that, like, Danny always has his, like,
touching, heartwarming conversation with the music playing.
Yeah.
So there had to be something with that in there.
Yeah.
So we're going to move away from talking about the TV shows for Thanksgiving with the watch list, and we're going to tell you something else that you need to be watching on Thanksgiving Day, which is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah, it's a tradition to watch it while your turkey is cooking. So it originally started back in 1924. I didn't know that until I looked it up. I knew it had been going on for like a long time, but I was like, wow, 1924, that's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. There's like 5 fun facts about it. So originally it was a Christmas parade, not a Thanksgiving Day parade. So they changed it somewhere down the line, but they still end it with Christmas.
Right, Santa comes with the sleigh at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming now.
And they have
Christmas.
the rockets and all that.
Yeah.
Then the second fact they had, the parade was first broadcast on the radio, so it wasn't even on TV, which makes sense because 1924.
Yeah.
You had to use your imagination when the first broadcast of the parade took place in 1932. So it had been going on in person since 1924, but then the first broadcast was 1932.
Okay, so they probably figured, well, the people who aren't here, let's somehow narrate or talk about on the radio what's going on.
Yeah, and then the first televised broadcast was in 1946.
Okay.
It was on NBC.
And that's where it's been ever since.
Yeah. The balloons have been around almost since the beginning. So that's a fun fact.
Is that where you said there was terrifying pictures?
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, it's Felix the cat, but it looks horrifying.
Those look like devil cone horns coming out of its head.
Oh my god, look at this wiener dog.
Oh my god.
We can like have these in here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's horrifying. What is that? Mickey Mouse was in there. Some Officer SOS 13. Look at that.
He's dead.
He is.
Flat on his back. Before they launch him.
Yeah, so those were some of the ones. One was a 60-foot dinosaur. And in those days, they
Barney?
had more...
No, no, not Barney. Not back then.
It said in those days, they had more to deal with than just high winds and crazy weather. Until 1938, an elevated train ran down 6th Avenue. Okay. There, it lists, like, other of the traditional characters that have been around for ages, like Snoopy, Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat. And then the route has changed over time. The route has changed. For years, the parade's Midtown route went right down Broadway, Manhattan Spine. But in 2009, the route was moved to 7th Avenue because of a new pedestrian plaza along Broadway. It was changed to 6th Avenue in 2011, given the parade's draw as tourist attraction. This did not go over well with some folks. And then in 2019, the route started at 77th Street and Central Park West. So the last fun fact about Macy's Day Parade, the parade has seen other obstacles. In 1957, a wet day got wetter for people near a Popeye balloon. The character's hat filled with water and drenched the watchers. The same thing happened in 1962 with a Donald Duck hat. And then it says Superman once lost his arm to a tree. But the worst was probably 1997. So we were like kids. We were, what, like 4? I want to say. A blustery day in the Big Apple during the parade, winds reached more than 40 miles per hour, and the balloons were difficult to control. One balloon, struck a lamppost and injured 4 people. One woman was in a coma for a month. It's not funny. It's terrible. The Pink Panther threatened a woman holding its rope. But the balloon... This is from the woman saying this. The balloon was caught on top of me and my daughter. She told the New York Times it was going to smother. What the heck? Can you freaking see? The Pink Panther. How terrible.
You know how bad this is? Because this is the second time we had to record this because something happened where we ran out of space on our phone. So you see she's still crying.
Oh my god, because I'm freaking because the weight is just like the balloon was on top of me and my daughter. We thought it was going to smother us. Jeez. Oh my god, that was freaking me. I was 4, so at least I don't remember this happening. But I think if I saw it today, I'd freaking die. It's just the fact that it says it threatened a woman. Like, how does a balloon threaten you? Could you imagine? Could you imagine being the reporter doing this like thing and you're talking to her?
It's still recording. We're good.
You're talking to this woman and you're like, ma'am, what happened? And she's like, it was on top of me. I thought it was going to smother us. Jeez.
Pink Panther's going to jail.
Watch out for the Pink Panther this Thanksgiving so it doesn't freaking smother you and threaten you with his ropes. Oh my god. Like, you think, you go, okay, what can get worse than getting drenched? And then you're like, alright, Superman loses his arm to a tree branch. You think Superman's immortal. How does he lose his freaking arm? Then you're like, alright, this woman got in a coma for a month, and other people were injured along with her.
God.
But you gotta end with Pink Panther. Oh my god. So yeah, the other thing that's not tragic that you can watch on Thanksgiving is, of course, a football game is always on.
Mm-hmm.
So
in the dog show.
That is true. Last time when we film this, I was crying so much that I couldn't even say anything else. But,
unfortunately, only we will know what happened.
Oh my god.
But you kind of saw a little snippet of her re-going at it.
Yeah, me still laughing, so I still found it hilarious. But I couldn't even breathe the first time I was trying. I was like climbing out of my chair, like just crying.
Stupid phone for running out of space.
Oh my god.
Anyways, thank you for joining us today. Hope you can watch some of these episodes too before Thanksgiving happens next Thursday. And thank you for joining us in the chatverse.
And happy Thanksgiving. Don't get attacked by the Pink Panther. It gets smothered us.